Welcome everybody. Today is the 21st of Tammuz, Kaf Aleph Tammuz, Tafshin Ayin Chet, the 4th of July. And we're learning about how to find your shidduch, your zivug, how to help other people find their soulmate or other half, whatever you want to call it. This is a very, very serious topic, because the age of marriage has been going up and up and up with the advancement of technology and the modern day we live in, which you could say it's a national crisis. I don't want to scare you singles here, but the challenge is great, so you need to have the tools. Obviously, we've been around for a long time. Not me, as I'm saying, the Torah has the solutions and the answers to everything. So let's look and try to understand what it's all about. So the first thing is that the first thing that we have to understand when it comes to finding someone is that we need to pray. We need to pray like anything in life. Prayer is not a side thing. The Gemara says, what should someone do who wants to get rich? Should he work? There's many people at work and don't have money. Should he pray to God who owns all the finances? Many people pray and they don't have what they need. So what the Gemara says, lo sagiha beloha. It's not enough to have one without the other. You need to have both. And the combination of the two is what brings the desired outcome. So prayer is not a side thing, it's an integral part of the searching. But in prayer we have to understand how to pray. Who teaches us how to pray? We learn from Moshe Rabbeinu. Vayitchanan el Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu was praying to God, begging God, right? Ba'et ahi le'emor, Ata achilota leharot, Hashem, you've shown your greatness. We learn from the prayer of Moshe Rabbeinu 3 rules. The Gemara Brachot says. Rule number 1, when you pray, your outset should be, I don't deserve anything, and God doesn't owe me anything. And that's parallel to the first prayer of Shmoneh Esrei, where we pray Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Yaakov, El Hagadol. That's what it teaches us, is that God, you don't owe me anything, I don't deserve anything. It's all a gift, it's all because of your kindness. Number 2, you have the power to change the reality. Tagibor, Mechei Metim, you resurrect, right? You have the powers to do everything. It's all in your hands. And number 3, Ata Kadosh Shimcha Kadosh. There is nobody that has the ability to rescue me but you. In other words, we always have in our mind, well, you know what, if it doesn't work, I have my backup plan. There's no backup plan. There's only God. So that's how we pray. So our rabbis teach us that the first stage to getting married is to, after you pray, is to feel that you're lacking something. Because if you're full, there's nothing to fill. If you have everything, so what are you missing? If you truly ask people, are you happy alone? They have to really think carefully and say, wait, you know what? The truth is I am happy alone. I really don't want another person. So you have to be unhappy. Where do we learn this from? You have to feel that you're lacking something. We learn this from God created Adam. It says He created him. He was alone, right? And then it says, Lo tov heyot adam levado. God says it's not good for a person to be alone. So I don't understand. If it's not good for a person to be alone, then why did you create him alone? obviously God doesn't do things for no reason. And the answer is, there is a certain time in your life, a certain stage where it actually is good you're alone. Because you need to do inner work. You need to clarify your goals and dreams and visions. You need to clarify your outlooks on life, your mission in life. And all these things are very crucial and very important that you're alone to do that. But then there comes a stage where you need to actually say, you know what? It's not good for me anymore alone. And when you reach that stage, then you start to pray with the 3 rules that we said. And then, once you're done that stage, then you can go to the next stage, which is actually going to take action and effort. Not closing yourself off to any option. Friends have someone to offer, internet, dating sites, all kinds of options that are, kosher. And the third thing that we're mentioning today, we're talking about is going to a shadchan. So because I am a shadchan, I want to tell you my first story of being a shadchan and my last story. The first story of the first couple that I connected to each other, and the last story of the couple that just got married. Because there's a connecting thread between the two, and a very important message that I want to give over to the people who are listening to this. The first story goes as follows. I was 20 years old on Purim night, 2 o'clock in the morning. I lived in Nachlaot, right up the road here in Jerusalem. And I was drunk. There's no mitzvah to get drunk at night, but some people like to be machmir and to, be more mahudar. So, 2 o'clock in the morning, my 2 close friends, Aaron Razel, who was a musician, and Shema Yisrael, close friends, they're holding me both sides, dragging me home. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We walk by this young lady sitting on the side of the corner of on the sidewalk, like on a ramp, and I say to Aaron Razel, do you know you just walked by your wife and you didn't say Shalom Aleichem? Do you think that's polite? And he says to me, you're really drunk. I'm not married, and that woman sitting there has a head covering. She's a married woman. So I said, wait. I went to her, I said, are you married? She says, no, leave me alone. So I go back, I say, she's not married, she's your wife. Anyway, he drops me off at my house, end of story. 3 months go by, and I get invited to an engagement party. I'm sitting with a glass of wine to say l'chaim, and Aaron Razel gets up and he says, I would like to thank the shadchan who made this shidduch. I'm looking around, I wonder who that is. Eliyon Shemesh. I'm like, great, what? And he says, here's the story. I was walking Eliyon home on Purim night. We walked by a girl. He said, this is your wife. I said, no, it's not. I dropped him off at his house, walked back to this girl and said, hello, will you marry me? She said, yes. Then she takes the microphone from him and says, this is what happened. I was in a house with a bunch of girls, and this girl said, there's a segula Purim night, 2 o'clock, to go out and pray for your zivug. So I went out to pray. And I'm praying, and this guy walks up and he says, I said, Hashem, please give me my husband, please send me my husband, please send me my husband. And this guy walks up to me quietly, obviously in my mind, I wasn't saying it loud. And he walks up and he says, will you marry me? I said, yes. How am I going to say no? The next morning I said, no way. I'm not married, I don't know who you are. 3 months, we got to know each other, and we're married. Today they have 8 kids. Last week, I'm walking with my son. I just told him this story, and Aaron Razak from far sees me. He says, Shadchan, what? And here he is walking with his 8 children. So that was a beautiful story. Now I'm going to tell you the last story of Shidduchim that just happened, which is unbelievable. A friend of mine asked me to find someone for his friend who's 44 years old, divorced. And I went to him and I said, what are you looking for? He said, I want a girl that speaks French because I'm from France, who went to university because I have a university degree and I want to be able to relate. And the third thing, I don't want a woman that has older children because, teenagers can be very difficult. And 4, I want a woman who's my age. I'm 44, I want someone my age because I was already married to the girl who was, she was 20 when I was 36, and it was the age gap was way too big, and it's not happening. No problem. So I'm talking to everyone I talk to. I say, listen, I have someone. I'd like to find him, shidduch, a wonderful man. I call up a friend of mine in Los Angeles. I tell him, Johnny, I have a wonderful man. Everyone I meet to, I talk to, I put out the word. He says, I have the girl. I say, really? Do you know her? I don't know her. I met her for 5 minutes. I said, listen, you meet a girl 5 minutes, you need to get some information. This is the girl. I said, does she speak French? No. Did she go to university? No. Does she have children? Yes, 3 kids that are in the age, teenagers. And is she his age? No, she's much younger. She's 34 and he's 44. So I said, it's not happening. He says to me, stop playing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Your job is to offer, let him say no. I said, fair enough. I'm just telling you it's a complete no-starter. But you want me to ask it? I'll ask it. So I said, I call up my friend. I say, I have a girl. He asked me, does she speak French? No. Does she? No. Does she have children? No. Everything he asked for, no. He says, well, I'm not interested. No, so he says, so I'm not interested. You know the answer. I said, does that mean no? He says, yes, it means no. Why are you asking me questions that you know the answer is no? I said, well, I heard a story once from an amazing story from Eliyahu Grossberg about Rav Shmuel Salant. When he was in Jerusalem, they needed to build a shul. There was no money, and only one wealthy man had the money ability to do it. Rav Shmuel Salant said, I'll get the money from him. Everyone said, there's no way this miser won't give a cent. He said, leave it to me. He comes to this miser, walks in, says, hello, I'm here to ask for $1 million. The miser starts laughing so hard, he almost fell off the chair. The rabbi's sitting like this. Are you done? The man says, yes. Can I leave now? He says, yes. Goodbye. Comes to walk out. He says, Rabbi, stop. What were you thinking? You thought I would say that I'm going to give you the money? He says, no, I knew 100% you won't give the money. So why did you come here to ask? Because when you get to Shemaim, they're going to ask you, why didn't you give the money to build a shul? You're going to say, nobody asked. That excuse you no longer have. And he says, goodbye. And he starts walking out, and the miser says, stop! Listen, I don't have the ability to reach into my safe and give you the money. I can't do it. It's impossible. But my heart is open now. I'm opening up the safe. Grab the amount that you need and run before I change my mind. True story. And he took the money and left. So I said, this is the story. I offer it. You say no. It's fine. And I said to him, you're doing the right thing. Don't go on dates that you know ahead of time are not in what you're looking for. Because you need to have clear focus of, someone's in the field you're looking for. And don't waste time. It's not like you have to go on dates that have potential. I'm glad you're saying no. Thank you. He says, you're a strange man. But goodbye. Goodbye. 2 weeks later, I get a call. Hello? Yes. 2 weeks have passed. There's no other offers. Maybe Hashem is sending this. Let me meet her. Needless to say, 3 months later, they got married. It was the most incredible wedding. And so the connecting thread of these two stories are that in order to allow Hashem to act in the world, you have to allow Hashem to act. As long as you're locked on Hashem, this is what I want, and this is what you're going to give me, there's no space for the miracles to happen. So the first thing is to open up your mind and open up your eyes and allow Hashem to place before you the possibilities. In this situation, again, there's something called, in Hebrew it's called ikar v'tafel. There's things that are, essential and things that are minor. If a woman has a university degree or doesn't, that's a minor thing. The question is, intellectually, can you communicate with her? Right? So I asked my friend, what do you mean? He speaks French, she doesn't speak French. He says, love is an international language. Right? And again, they both speak English, and they can communicate and learn, and a very interesting story. Now, it also says the Netziv of Volozhin says that one of the big problems the Jewish people had when they were in Egypt, they did not believe that Moshe Rabbeinu was the rescuer. It was because of the same issue of you have an idea that how the Redeemer should look like. And Moshe Rabbeinu was not at all what they had imagined or anticipated or expected, because they were expecting, someone that was like, grew up with them, and here is like someone who speaks Egyptian, who grew up in Paro's castle. So it's completely the opposite of what they expected and what they wanted and but this is teaching us an important lesson. Don't lock yourself off. Allow Hashem to work through what He wants to do. Now I want to share with you the Dvar Torah that I give whenever I meet someone who's looking to get married. We said when you're going to or looking to find someone, is that when you're looking, it's very important for me to share this Dvar Torah with you, because, like I said, your understanding of the effort you're doing, always remembering where the effort is coming from, where being in the right mindset when you're going out and trying to ask for help is very important. So here's the story, and this is from Rav Elisha Vishlitsky. He says a beautiful idea as follows. We know that Paro was a very angry, sporadic, temperamental person, ruler, that if a bug flew into his cup, he killed the minister of beverages. And when there was like a small stone in one of his breads, he threw the other way around. He threw him into jail, and his minister of whatever bread was thrown into jail and killed. So this is a man that you have to be very sensitive. You cannot use excess words. You have to be very precise. You have to be very clear, straightforward. You don't have a lot of chances to play games with his temper. Paro is going through a crisis. He's having this dream that's really upsetting to him, over and over, about the cows and the wheat, and he calls Yosef and he says, Yosef, I heard that you can interpret dreams. Now, what would be the appropriate answer?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can, right? Now, Yosef says to Paro, Biladai ha'Elohim Elokim yaneh et shlom paro. No, I don't answer dreams. God answers dreams. Do you understand what a risk he is taking here? He's just been 12 years in jail. And he's now taking a chance. Oh, you don't answer dreams? Off with your head. If you think about the scenario, what Yosef is teaching us is that it's so important for Yosef to make it crystal clear. It's not me, it's Hashem. That I'm willing to pay the price of throw me into jail or do whatever you got to do, but I want to make it 100% crystal clear. It's not me, it's Hashem. And Rashi adds one word when he says, Biladai ha'elokim yaneh et shlom paro. God will answer Paro's desires, Paro's dreams. Rashi answers, Darki, yes, it could come through me, but it's not me. Right? It could come through me, but it's not me. So that's the most important lesson in this topic, is to understand that yes, it can come through me, it can come through a shadchan, but when you're not putting your hopes in that person, you're putting your hopes in Hashem. So that is basically the first part of what you should be looking for. And thank you very much.